What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on a dresser. So we bought this one on Facebook Marketplace for $50. It's got some mismatched hardware, it's got a few holes in the top and some of the veneer is peeling off. But all around it's in really good shape. Alright, so let's get started guys and see what we can transform this into. So as always, we're going to start by wiping down and thoroughly cleaning this piece. This one's not too dirty, it's more dusty than anything. So what we're using here is just simply a water and vinegar mixture. We do a ratio of about 2 tablespoons to 1 cup of distilled water. This usually works really well for us. It's nothing too crazy, so it's not going to damage the furniture. However, you can use other degreasers like Crud Cutter that you can get at any hardware store. Alright, next thing we did guys was fill in some of the holes in the top of the piece as well as where the hardware is going to go, since we're going to be changing up the hardware on this. We just used an all-purpose wood filler that you can get at Home Depot. We let this dry for a few hours and then we hand sanded it down with 180 grit sandpaper. The tip here is to not overfill the holes when you're filling them in, so that means less sanding for you. Also, by doing the sanding by hand, you're sure that you aren't going to over sand the piece like you would if you used a mechanical sander. So we wipe down the piece once again just to make sure there's no sawdust. And now the fun part, we get to start painting. So for this piece, we're going to use Rust-Oleum chalk paint in Angel Gray. This is just a pre-mixed paint that we picked up at Home Depot. So we opted to brush the paint on here. We ended up doing 2 coats. And we were hoping by brushing it as opposed to using a roller that we would get a nice textured look. For the directions on the can, we let the first coat dry for about 4 hours before we applied the second coat. And then we let the second coat dry overnight before we applied any kind of wax or sealant. So we decided we wanted to go with a distressed look. So what we're doing here is just simply taking that same 180 grit sandpaper and sanding down all the edges of the piece to kind of give it that weathered and aged look. We decided to take it even a step further with the distressed look, and we ended up using a dark wax around the sides of the drawers. I think this really made the piece pop. Next, we drilled new holes for the new hardware. Obviously, we measured before we drilled. And that was it, guys. Here's one last look at the before. And here's what we were able to turn it into.